On June 19, 2025, tech entrepreneur Ndiangui Kinyagia posted a timeline on X for the anniversary of the June 25th protests, a detailed program whose final act was the planned hanging of Ruto. The post went viral, many reposting it while others warned him publicly that he had crossed a line. Kinagia, a trained software engineer, understood what would follow. In Kenya, it is often not the police who find you, it's your devices. So he vanished. No phone, no laptop, no digital footprint. That simple decision ironically worked. 2 days later, DCI officers raided his home in Kinoo, using unmarked vehicles with distorted number plates. They seized his devices, passports, and documents, searching for a trail. But without his gadgets, the trail went cold. He remained missing for nearly 2 weeks. To his family, his reappearance felt like a miracle. To him, it was proof that your phone can become a tracking device that determines your freedom or your fate. In this episode, we investigate how digital technology has evolved into a weapon of political control in Kenya through enforced disappearances, covert surveillance systems, and laws reshaped to justify state overreach. And most importantly, we'll look at what ordinary citizens can do to protect themselves. Be sure to like the video if you enjoy it and subscribe to the channel for more informative stories from Kenya. According to a State of National Security report tabled in Parliament early in 2025, Kenya witnessed a 44% increase in kidnappings and abductions between September 2023 and August 2024. Of the abductions reported, at least 29 victims remain missing. This infrastructure didn't emerge by accident. The National Treasury allocated 120 million shillings to the DCI specifically for surveillance technology. Over the past 3 years, security agencies have received staggered funding for technology systems that now operate independently of telecommunication companies, capabilities that surpass what Safaricom, Airtel, or Telecom can monitor or control. When the state owns the frequencies, the companies become extensions of state power, whether they intend to or not. Kinagia's story exposed how Kenyan security agencies, especially the DCI, enjoy unrestricted access to call data records and location tracking in the name of pursuing criminals.
DCI officers, and they have confirmed this in a statement and in court and in an affidavit, actually went to Mr. Ndiangui's house at 2 p.m. and at 11 p.m. saa tano ya usiku, they broke into his house.
But increasingly, even innocent users are being tracked, violating their privacy rights. Many observers link this to rampant abductions and extrajudicial killings. But how exactly do they find you? Every mobile phone connects to nearby cell towers. By measuring your phone's distance from at least 3 towers, it's possible to pinpoint your location within 5 meters through triangulation. In Kenya, this data is managed by Telecom, Safaricom, and Airtel. But because the government owns all the radio frequencies through the Communications Authority, state agencies can bypass these companies and tap directly into tower systems. When done legally, the process starts with a trigger, a crime, a tip-off, or a person of interest, and a valid occurrence book entry. Investigators must seek a court order to access subscriber details. If granted, they receive a call data record, a CDR, containing your phone number, same serial number, device IMEI, call times and durations, SMS logs, mobile data usage, base transceiver station data, showing which towers your phone is connected to, numbers you've contacted, and frequency of contact. It's a complete map of your life. But cases of DCI accessing data without warrants are routine. Security agencies bypass formal channels. Telcos have limited visibility of what the data is used for, yet face public scrutiny when abuses surface.
We're also aware that Safaricom is complicit and indeed a facilitator in the tracing and abduction of Kenyans who have either ended up dead or maimed in the hands of police like Albert Ojwang. We want to issue a direct warning that this amounts to aiding and abetting in the commission of these crimes against humanity, for which Kenyans will hold Safaricom responsible and either take appropriate legal action or boycott their services.
George Musamali, a former police officer, now security consultant with insider knowledge of how these agencies operate, explained that from the onset, the intention to track was good, to catch criminals in real time. But over time, he said, we have seen a total misuse of these devices and capabilities.
Go through the court. Yeah. But you look, what is happening is that now we have all these agencies are under the government. What about if it's the government that wants you? What will stop them from using illegal means to get your data from the service providers?
Yeah. I'm sure it's been happening.
It's been happening quite a lot.
Yeah.
And that is where the danger is.
As we covered in an earlier episode, Albert Ojwang, a 31-year-old teacher and blogger, was tracked over 400 kilometers to his rural home by DCI officers. Hours later, he was dead. Similar incidents show a pattern of state agents exploiting telecom data for extrajudicial operations. When Ojwang's case circulated on social media, the backlash was immediate. Kenyans tagged Safaricom directly, demanding answers and calling for boycotts. But here's what's crucial. Safaricom probably had no control over DCI's access to his location data. The telecom became the public face of a surveillance state it didn't operate, the visible target absorbed by the anger meant for its invisible operators. But even in the case of Ndiangui, turning off devices isn't enough. Sometimes surveillance doesn't need high-tech tools. The target does the work themselves through open source intelligence, or OSINT. Your digital breadcrumbs tell the story. Post a cafe selfie 3 times weekly, investigators know your routine. Share your paycheck with your employer's letterhead visible, they know where you work. Photograph your car with plates showing, that gets cross-referenced with NTSA's database. Buy KPLC tokens, that ties you to a specific home address.
That was last year. I was given a task to look for a person that was being sought for by the police, and they said he's at large. Okay. How did I get him? Just his Facebook page gave him out. I later followed this man up to Kisumu and had him arrested because he was posting things, and I could just follow his footsteps through that.
Yes.
So this digital transformation, especially to Kenyans who do not understand. Yes, we have this data protection thing, but how many people down there understand the Data Protection Act?
Physical records complete the picture. When you hand over your ID at a gate, it can get photographed. These breadcrumbs build surveillance profiles without any hacking required. But there's another layer to this. Every app on your phone is also collecting data. When you install an app, it requires permission, access to your location, contacts, camera, microphone, sometimes all of it. Most of us just tap allow without thinking twice. Rogue loan apps often request access to your contacts, which can later be misused to harass friends or family during debt collection, as we covered in an earlier episode. Services like Uber or Glovo legitimately require your location, but keeping location tracking on at all times can expose your movement patterns. Social media apps like TikTok can get access to a wide range of personal data, including GPS location, device information, camera access, your entire contact list, and microphone. George Musamali put it bluntly, if you are a target of the state, you cannot opt out. They did it before the age of mobile through informants, and money was a motivating factor, and now they can do it with technology. Article 31 of the Constitution guarantees the right not to have your home, property, or communications interfered with, and protects private information from being unnecessarily revealed. The Data Protection Act of 2019 reinforces that personal data must be handled lawfully and fairly, and Kenyans have the right to know, correct, or erase their data if used. But when national security is invoked, these protections collapse. Court orders become optional, oversight vanishes. Citizens never know their data was accessed. This isn't unique to Kenya. From the NSA scandal in the US to Greek's surveillance of journalists, governments worldwide walk a thin line between security and intrusion. In 2023, Naivas Supermarket suffered a significant data breach affecting customer payments, information, and personal records. The company later confirmed that the breach initiated notifications, but the damage was done. Customer data was already compromised. If a major retailer with security resources failed to protect customer information, what chance do ordinary citizens have against state agencies with direct infrastructure, access, and no legal accountability? For ordinary Kenyans, data privacy is about safety and dignity. It's not about hiding wrongdoing. It's about protecting the right to keep your personal life personal. And that extends beyond what's digital. Just recently, after the mysterious death of a Nairobi lawyer and businessman, several news outlets published his entire daily routine. His movements became front-page news. To the public, it was curiosity. To anyone watching closely, it was a roadmap. No one should have their routine exposed like that, whether it's through surveillance system or careless media reporting. The revelation of your private patterns creates a vulnerability that can be exploited by criminals, by stalkers, or by those in power. When surveillance is unchecked, people stop speaking freely, avoid gatherings, and self-censor online. The chilling effect is real for anyone who has watched a friend disappear. So what can you even do about this situation? Well, let's be honest. If you're targeted by the state security, no app can save you. But most surveillance isn't that sophisticated. Most of the time, you're caught because you made it easy. Making it harder matters. Think about Kinagia. He didn't hack anything, he just disappeared from the grid. Your devices are informants. That doesn't mean living off the grid, but thinking differently about technology. The point is not that these apps are inherently bad, but that users should stay aware of what information they're granting access to and adjust permissions based on necessity. Turn off location services and GPS if not needed. Before you approve a permission, ask yourself, does this app really need this access? If the answer is no, deny it. If you've already approved it, go back and revoke unnecessary permissions. Stop geotagging. That restaurant photo tells watchers where you'll be next Thursday at 7 p.m. Every off-to-work post with timestamps, every office building in your story background, every gym checking, you're building a tracking database for free. Treat IDs and your cards as sensitive. Don't leave them where staff can photograph them. Minimize linking personal accounts to workplace or financial IDs. Use encrypted messaging apps like Signal and WhatsApp. Keep your phone updated and avoid public Wi-Fi for sensitive activities. You should also vary your routine. Don't be predictable. People always notice patterns, whether they are intelligence officers or simply observant watchers. Your physical movements matters just as much as your digital footprint. Conscious use helps protect your privacy without compromising convenience. You don't have to choose between having a smartphone and having a private life. You just have to choose what you share and with whom. But individual action only goes so far when the system itself is broken. Kenya has the laws, but laws without enforcement are just words. When the DCI accesses records without warrants, when telecom companies are forced to comply with security agency requests under the guise of national security, when telecoms cannot legally refuse such demands and there is no independent oversight, existing privacy laws become largely ineffective. In December 2024, the Civic US Monitor ranked Kenya's civic space as repressed, the second worst rating on its 5-tier scale. When people can be tracked and disappeared for social media posts, freedom becomes conditional. The phone in your pocket shouldn't be a tracking device. Your home shouldn't be raided without warrants. Your location data shouldn't be accessible to anyone with a badge and an agenda. These aren't radical demands. They are basic rights. And rights only survive when we defend them.